Hey guys, Tiffany with another video, and as you guys saw in the title, this is going to be all about the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. Now, frankly, I'm not calling this a first impression video just because I'm not doing an unboxing. I'm not like applying it straight on the eyes, and I know sometimes people can be a little touchy when it comes to first impressions if it's not like straight out the box. But I've actually had my palette now for about a week. I've been playing around with it, just work and family and just schedule wise. I haven't been able to get out like a first thoughts video on it, but I did want to come and just give you guys kind of my overall thoughts about the palette at this very moment. So many of you guys have been asking me about it. When I first got it, I put a picture up on Snapchat and y'all were just like, Tiff, we want to know your thoughts, so no more waiting, let's get started. So again, this video is all about the new Anastasia Subculture palette. I'm just gonna be quite honest with you guys. I was definitely not interested in picking up this palette. When I first saw the promo pictures, I just didn't feel like these were colors that were speaking to my soul. Of course, y'all know right off the bat, like I'm just more of a neutral girl, and these colors, although very creative colors, I just didn't think that they were something that I would really get much use out of. So I had already kind of swore off this palette, and a lot of you guys were like, Tiff, are you getting it? Please get it. We want to know your thoughts on it. And then the more and more I thought about it, I'm a fan of Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have just about every Anastasia Beverly Hills palette that was like ever created. I'm not kidding with you guys. I have the Amrezy palette, I have the Master by Mario palette, I have the Self-Made palette, I have the Catwalk palette, which was like one of the first ever palettes. I have the Shadow Couture palette. I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lavish palette. Of course, I have the Modern Renaissance, which is bae. And this palette, the Subculture, was supposed to be like the sister palette to the Modern Renaissance. And I started thinking, like, if it's anything like the Modern Renaissance, which I love, maybe it won't hurt to go ahead and pick it up and add it to my collection nonetheless. I'm probably going to have some timestamps down below because I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm going to talk a little bit before I actually get into the palette. So that's pretty much the reason why I decided to go ahead and get it. I just was like, you know, if nothing else, it'll complete out my collection. But I just don't know how I'm going to feel about these colors. And then I received the palette, and seeing the colors up close and in person did nothing to help with my thoughts on it. I still felt like, okay, although again, we're getting some different shades, these are just not colors for me. But I still wanted to give it a chance as a beauty blogger, if nothing else. And I've been playing around with it for a week. It is the palette that I used on my eyes today, so I can just come and just give you guys pretty much my overall thoughts, because I don't think that my thoughts on this palette are going to change. So let's go ahead and get into like packaging, pricing, and swatches, and all that other good stuff. So as far as packaging is concerned, it does come in this box. It's kind of like a greenish color box. It has Subculture, Anastasia Beverly Hills on the front, and then on the back it does just give you the colors of the eyeshadows, and it gives you all the different ingredients, lets you know that it's cruelty free and all that other good stuff. And then when you get into the actual palette, it is that same like velvet type of packaging as the Modern Renaissance, but it does come in green. Again, you have that same gold or like mustard yellowy type of Subculture. And then it does come with a really nice size mirror. It also comes with a brush. I normally don't use the Anastasia Beverly Hills brushes. I feel like after a while they kind of break on me, so I normally don't use them. I kind of just throw them to the side. You are getting 14 different eyeshadows inside of the palette. Again, this is how the colors look. Now, I will say that again, we're always saying we want something different. We're tired of companies coming out and giving us like the same type of color scheme. So I will go ahead and give Anastasia a pat on the back for deciding to do something different, because this is definitely different. This is definitely random. So I will again comment on that, because I think it's a great idea again for companies to try and start giving us something different, and not always those same colors that we tend to find in every palette. You are getting 3 different shimmer shades. You're getting this bronzy gold right here, which is called Adorn. It's like a metallic finish. You're getting this shade right here that's electric. That is what I'm wearing in the corner of my eyes. It's a shimmer shade. And then you're getting this kind of like transformer type of shade, which is called Cube. And then all of the other colors in here are matte. Again, these are just not colors that speak to my soul, and seeing them up person really didn't make me change my mind. They look the same. Really just, although different, like to me, there's really not a cohesion, and I don't feel like this is a complete palette. Although I used all the colors from this palette on my eye look, like I felt like I needed something else to kind of pull it together that just wasn't there in this palette. I feel like maybe we could have did without this matte shade right here, Destiny, and maybe like a shimmery green or something like that. I am someone that likes greens, but I don't know, just nothing in here is doing it for me. Just none of the colors, not even the metallic shades, which I thought I would really love this one, Adorn, but using it on the eye, I don't know, it really didn't wow me. There was no wow factor to this palette for me. And again, they are saying that this is the sister palette to the Modern Renaissance. Here is my Modern Renaissance. It's pretty beat up, but that is because I love it and I use it all the time. And yeah, maybe you could actually get some fun looks from both of these palettes combined, but I definitely know, just as far as a standalone palette, I can use the Modern Renaissance palette as a standalone palette. I don't ever need to bring in anything else. Like if I do bring in another color, it's basically just an added bonus, because I can definitely use this on its own. With the Subculture palette, again, I just don't feel like there's any all over cohesion to where I just can do a banging eye look without pulling in something else. Again, yeah, I did use it on the eyes today, but I'm actually disappointed with the look that I created with this palette. I just was not inspired. Like, I don't think I've ever been so uninspired by a palette before, and the colors, but this one definitely, like, it took forever racking my brain for me to come up with something that I know I would like. Like, I didn't just want to throw on some colors and just pop on the greens and stuff just to be able to say, well, hey, you know, I'm bringing you guys the colors. Like, I wanted to be something that I actually would enjoy wearing. And even though, again, I finally came up with something, like, child, it just, this is, ugh, I was so uninspired. Now, as I told you guys in the beginning, I don't like this palette. It's probably more of a lot of personal reasons than anything. Again, I really don't like the colors. The colors just didn't do anything for me. But I also found a lot of issues with this palette. First off, there is a lot of fallout with this palette. There is a lot of dust. There is a lot of kick up with this palette. Now, don't get me wrong, because the Modern Renaissance had a lot of fallout as well. Like, it was a pretty dusty palette, but this one is like dusty time 1,000. I can barely put my brush in some of the shades, and then it's just like so much fallout. Like this shade Fudge right here, which is the main shade that I used in my crease and my transition, it already looks like one of the colors that I've used in the Modern Renaissance, like something that I've just really been digging out of. And again, I've only had this palette for a week, so to me that is absolutely crazy how used up and how beat up a lot of these shades already look. So the fallout, the dust payoff is crazy. There is some really good color pigmentation, like the colors are pigmented, so I'm definitely not going to take that away from it, but I also feel like a lot of the shades don't blend out well. Again, going back to this shade Fudge, which is like the main shade I'm wearing, I don't feel like my eyeshadow look is as blended as my looks normally are. Like, I am the blending master. I have learned to use my arm muscles and blend, and I feel like no matter how much I was blending out with this palette, that color never, it just like sat there on my eye. So I was looking like, oh my gosh, like my eye looks so unblended to me. Like, I don't even know if you guys can tell, but I've been blending, and it just kind of sits there. Like, it just sits in the crease and it does not move. I didn't use a different base than I would use for any other eyeshadow look, so I really didn't understand that. And it also applies like darker. Like, the more you apply it, the darker it gets, and it's not like a flattering darkness. It was just really weird. Also, the shade All Star, I feel like that shade just never truly blends out. Like, I was blending, applying it in like the outer corner, and it just kind of sat there. And then I don't feel like the colors blended well together. It's just like they were both just kind of sitting there battling each other. So again, that was really crazy to me. I did end up using New Wave and Edge as like base and all over shades, and I used New Wave as more of a transition color. Again, I used Adorn on the lids, and although it looks like it's a really pretty like metallic-y bronze shade, when I applied it on the lids, I didn't like how it looked. It just looked real basic, so I ended up going with a Stila glitter on top of it just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. And then again, I did use the shade Electric in my inner corner, and out of all the shades that I use, that's probably the one that I like the most. The one that I didn't have that much work or that much hassle with, so I would have to say that probably was my favorite. But oh my gosh, it is definitely a difference in formula with these eyeshadows. This is not a sister palette to the Modern Renaissance. This is like a 12th cousin, twice removed type of palette to the Modern Renaissance, because again, although the Modern Renaissance does have fallout, it does have dust, it is not this dusty. Like, this is crazy how much fallout you get from this palette. Like, you really have to put your brush in, and I'm talking about tap 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 tap. You gotta tap those colors off of that brush, and even then, you know, you still get, like, again, a lot of pigmentation, but it's just all kinds of off for me. As you guys see, again, I am a fan of Anastasia Beverly Hills, so it kind of pains me to have to tell you guys this. Like, it's not just the colors that, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't like the palette. Like, the overall palette to me was just a fail. Like, something is not right. Something is really wrong with the formulation of these shadows. These are not the typical Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows for me, and I just was seriously disappointed overall. Again, I went into it not thinking that I would like it just from the colors, but it's just everything about this palette is just all wrong for me. I would not recommend anybody picking this up. I don't know. You know, maybe if these are your type of colors and you want to give it a try, go ahead, but I'm just warning you now, like, there's going to be so much fallout and so much dust, it's probably going to bother you. Like, definitely do not do your face before applying these eyeshadows, because you're going to have eyeshadow everywhere. But it was just a no. Bottom line, it's a no for me, dog. A lot of you guys wanted to know if this was something that I would suggest picking up, and I'm sorry, I just don't. It's way too much work to even get a kind of eyeshadow look, because that's definitely what I feel like this is. Like, it's like, I made it work, but it was so hard making it work, and even then I still feel like it's lacking somewhere. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. If you guys picked this palette up, let me know your thoughts on it. I know I've already seen some videos where a lot of people love this palette, so again, that's why I say maybe it's going to be a personal thing of what kind of things bother you. If you're someone who's not afraid of a whole gang of fallout, then by all means go ahead and pick it up. Also, if you're someone who loves colors like this, then by all means go ahead and pick it up. But just for me, all around as a whole, it was a no. So let me know what you guys think of the video. I'm sorry if it felt kind of rushed, but I'm so disappointed. Like, there's nothing that I really even want to talk about with that palette, but I definitely felt like I wanted to come and give you guys my thoughts, because so many of you guys have been asking about it on Snapchat and Instagram. So there you have it. Let me know what you guys think down below. You like this palette, you dislike it, all that other good stuff. And until next time, bye YouTube.